Hey everyone, how are we today? I'm just wanting to get started on some sort of alternate readings for everybody. So today I'm going to be doing, have a bit of a look at our career and finances coming up. When I do readings, they of course are pretty timeless. So whenever you're watching, it's probably, if it resonates with you, then that's for when it is. But I am currently sort of halfway through April, so probably focusing for anyone who is watching sort of when it's uploaded. I will sort of just be focusing on the next, say, 2 weeks. Okay, so filling out the end of April 2023 there. But like I said, if you are watching this at a later date, all my readings are pretty timeless. So if it does resonate, it resonates. If not, if that's fine as well. Always can check your other placements or other videos, depending on what you want to know about. Leave me comments and let me know. But yeah, if you do want to leave a comment, you will be in the running for a free personal reading when that's drawn as well. But I'll get started today with the air signs. So we're going to start with Aquarius today, and I am using, it's the playing cards lenormand deck. So this is one of the old style lenormand, more traditional base deck. These cards, they do have, oh, you guys might not be able to see there with my camera. They do have the playing card link as well as a little message there, and they are very sort of old-fashioned type messages as well. So I find these ones really handy when it does come to like career and finance. They do tend to be a little more career minded when it does come to the Lenormand. A lot of the other decks do like to focus on love, whereas these ones, they do sort of adapt quite well to things like career, finances, those sorts of things. So whether you're working or not, whether you own your own business or not, take it as it resonates. Obviously, it's going to be talking about. I find for a lot of people, when I'm talking about work situations and you're not actually working, it does talk just about like those heavy responsibilities, how we how we get our bills paid, whether that be, whatever that might be for everybody there. But so you can sort of, sometimes I do find it does sort of cross over, for people that aren't working. It does sometimes cross over into your home life, not necessarily with family, but with things like neighbours and so if you think of like your neighbours as co-workers, we are all sort of in this journey, this giant job called life. So however it sort of resonates for you. But obviously, if you are working, we will be sort of looking more directly at, bosses, co-workers, but also, the job itself, and financial stream coming towards you, I suppose, is sort of the best way to look at it there. But starting off with Aquarius. How are we today, Aquarius? I'm just looking at career and finances today. So firstly, I'll just be asking for a general past, present, future with our work and career for Aquarius, please. And then I will want to see one card specifically into current financial stream and future. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, so I will grab a second one as well for future financial streams, so we can sort of judge whether that's on the up or on the level playing field there. Okay, so Aquarius. Okay, this is actually with your career there. We're seeing that you have set some strong foundations in your career. So this is the Tower card. So when it comes to work and career, you have sort of you've got the knowledge behind you. You've set up those foundations. You've worked on the things that you need to work on to get this sort of career going the way that it needs to. With the present card being the tree, there may be just a little bit more education that you need to sort of involve yourself in when it does come to work. So there might just be, a few few little niggly things. It doesn't feel like it's anything dramatic, but it might just be about, learning that extra little skill that's going to help make your job easier in the long run. Yeah, but you have got a really good foundation of knowledge to work from. So it does seem, really, really good. But once you do get this further education or this further little bit of knowledge. So I would sort of advise, asking co-workers for, advice. Maybe they do things just a slightly different way, asking for their knowledge basically as well, because, maybe they do something just a slightly different way that will actually make your job just a little bit easier for you and bring in that extra learning, like, and looking like, all a lot of bosses do really appreciate it, when you are trying to expand your knowledge within the field and those sorts of things as well. But then for the future position with your career, we are seeing the fish, which is definitely one of the best financial cards to be seeing in the Lenormand there. So it does bring a lot of good luck and abundance along in with that. So, I do feel that, in the future, once you have ironed out all the creases, basically, filled in any gaps with your knowledge when it comes to the job, you really will be heading into this period of abundance and being, that actually really does sort of yell at me things like promotions and things like that as well. So in the near future there, that may be something coming your way, a bit more promotion, or to be completely honest, it's probably more along the lines of like a pay rise. So it's a lot of the time promotion and pay rise do go hand in hand. But yeah, it does sort of feel a bit more like money, pay rise. So we'll have a look at the direct financial thing there. So in the present, we are seeing the sun. So, everything seems like it's going pretty smoothly at the moment. There might be something in the near future. We've got the coffin there. Obviously, it does not actually talk about, a physical death, but it is just that sort of that rest period. So yeah, this, you might see that promotion, but it might just be a little bit further away than what we're looking at the moment. So maybe a few months rather than the few weeks there. But with the sun in the present, really heading into this really good period with finances. So it might be revealing that certain things are ending, which is helping your finances. Like you might have had a loan, and that's currently sort of ending, and so you'll find that once that does end, and it'll bring you some new beginnings with finances. So you'll sort of see that money flowing just a little bit better once you get rid of that thing. So whatever that thing is for you guys, it's going to be different for everybody, of course, but there's something with your finances that does it's sort of being revealed to you currently. So you might just need to have a bit of a look at your finances, and something. So it might just be, like subscriptions that you're not using, those sorts of things, just to bring in that new beginning with the way that we're getting money and using our money. I feel that that's all about. Yeah, so the death there, the non-literal death, always does talk about rebirth as well. So it does sort of talk about when we end out a few things, it does bring in new things for us as well. So, maybe closing out those things that you no longer need, that you are still spending money on, and spending them on new things that bring you more joy. Those kinds of things. So looking pretty good for you guys there, Aquarius. Heading into it does appear to be a very good financial position for you guys there in the near future, especially with that career. So, even if you don't see the finances going up straight away, you are setting the really strong foundations and you're doing the learning at the moment. So, keep focused on doing, that education when it does come to your career at the moment. And that really, really is going to pay off for you guys in the long term as well. Okay, so Libra. How are we today, Libra? Just having a quick look at career and finances for you today. So what I'm going to do is draw just a quick career, past, present, future. Libra, please. And then we're going to be looking a little bit more directly at the money flow for Libra in the present and near future. Okay, so in the past position, we do have the key. So, and present, we do have the rider there as well. So I pull them both up together because I do feel they're quite related there. You've unlocked some doors to future success in the past. So something you've done in the past has unlocked doors for this to come on in. The rider does bring good news. Okay, so you know, wherever he sort of travels, it's always sort of good news coming on in, and it's usually pretty quickly too. And this being in your present situation, you might find that it's got to do with something in the past. You've said or done something in the past, and it has actually opened the door for this to come on through for you when it does come to your career. You know, so and it's got a lot of success linked in with it as well. So you might have had some big successes in the past, and that's bringing actually more good news your way. So you might have, you know, no idea what sort of work we all do, but you know, something that you've done in the past that has brought success feels like it's bringing you further good news as well in the present. So that's really good. But in the future, we are seeing the clouds. Okay, and so the clouds, when it does come to you know, work, it feels like maybe you're overthinking something. So, you know, it's talking a lot about sticking with those successful methods that have, you know, gotten you those opening doors in the past. I really feel that you might really be overthinking something in the near future when it comes to these things coming on in. You might be sort of not seeing how good they actually are, even if they're not anything big or dramatic. You know, look for the opportunities that anything coming in work-wise, look for the opportunities that they could create further down the track rather than getting bogged down in the details of the now. I really feel that the clouds there, it is what you make it. So with that, the clouds, you know, it might also be sort of talking about make sure you're thinking positive and looking for all the positives in the workplace at the moment. So you're not sort of letting yourself get trapped in the storm clouds there, so to speak. But with your finances, we are seeing the whip in the present position and the garden in the future position there. So the whip will be talking about, you know, annoyances and, you know, a bit of discord with your financial situation at the moment. So you might just be, you know, feeling like you're not quite where you want to be financially in the present. But with the garden really does talk about, especially with work, it does talk about important meetings and things like that. So it feels like you're going to have the opportunity to have a meeting, and that's going to bring you more financial opportunity. So those sorts of things about, you know, taking that chance on asking for a promotion or a raise or whatever it might be. You know, meetings are going to be successful for you in the near future. So, you know, if you are a little bit stressed or annoyed about your financial situation, it does really feel like this is something that we can sort of change. The garden is a really sort of restful, positive card. So you know, when it does talk about invitations as well. So if you do have any invitations, you know, to, you know, it could even be like job offers and those sorts of things. You know, invitations, meetings, important meetings, things like that that could actually be bringing a lot more financial stability in for you. So you know, if you do see those sorts of things popping up in the next few weeks, I dare say they will be sort of bringing in some new opportunities for you. And so these might be the unlocking doors that we're looking at. So you might have, you know, in the example of a new job being offered to you, you might have laid down, you know, you might have done something in the past that's unlocked that door for them to actually come chase you down now and offer you a position. So maybe that's who the rider is coming on in, offering you some sort of position there, you know. So it definitely would actually lead to, you know, more success in our financial situation. So that's looking quite good for you guys as well. But like I said, don't overthink it. There's definitely that element to let you know that in the near future, don't overthink it. Okay, so just look for that success, look for that opening doors, and see what they bring for you. Okay, moving on to Gemini. How are we today, Gemini? Just looking at career and finances today. Just a super quick reading, just to sort of check in with everybody and see how we're all going. Just wanting to look at career and finances today. I just felt drawn to do that, so here we are. Okay, so career and work for Gemini, please. Okay, and financial opportunities for Gemini, please. Okay, so in the past we do have the ring. So, it does feel as though there may have been, some tensions within the work relationships, some quarrels and things like that. So this is sort of highlighting those sort of work relationships with other people, so the connections with other people at the workplace. But having the dog in the present situation for that there is actually sort of just letting you know that whatever these relationships you are establishing or have established within the workplace, there is actually a really strong element of loyalty and compassion and all those sorts of things, friendship coming through from those relationships that you have established there. So it's wanting to talk about, more about your workmates at the moment, sort of just saying that you can actually rely on them a little bit more than you may have been able to in the past. Yeah, so that's what I feel like that's what's talking about there. And then in the general future with your career or work there, we do have the bear. So, it does sort of have a bit of a warning with this original deck here that I'm using, the traditional playing card deck. It does sort of have that. Watch out for people that might be a bit spiteful or envious of your position and those sorts of a thing. And just be a little bit on guard and protective of yourself and your position. It does sort of talk about having clear boundaries. So even though they are a little bit more loyal than you think, just be careful that you are keeping that boundary of this is a workplace friendship, and it's what it stays in the workplace sort of thing, and you don't need to be, protect your own self and don't rely on them too much. You can rely on them in a work sense, but yeah, just watching out a little bit to make sure we do have boundaries and we are being assertive with people within the workplace, even if they are a close co-worker or whatever. It does sort of just give you that future message of sort of watching out for your own benefit, your own good in the workplace. At the end of the day, you're not there to make friends; you're there to work or whatever it is. So keep that in mind. So if you feel that someone is trying to push the work relationship just a little bit too far, it's okay to have your boundaries at this time or in the near future there. Okay, but with your finances there, yeah, we are sort of seeing that you are going to in the present. So I feel like this is linking up to that bear as well. So there may be just that feeling that you might be losing money somewhere at the moment. That snake card can sometimes talk about taking care of your possessions and just being on guard of traitors and that sort of thing. Because the original Bible story or whatever, it was like the temptation was too great. So just make sure we're not putting temptation in front of anybody when it comes to our finances. So, don't sort of go around showing everyone how much money you've got or how many or some possessions you've got at the moment. Just be on your guard for that. I feel when it comes to finances, yeah, no one needs to know how much you've got, because they will sort of start to look at that with a bit of green-eyed envy, I feel, at the moment. But then we've got the moon for the future position for you there. So the moon is actually, when it comes to career, it does talk quite a lot about glory and honor. So it talks actually more about enjoying your career, and that, and the money will come with that. So the happier you are at your job, the more money is going to come in for you in the near future there. So I would sort of just keep that in mind when you are, if you're not happy at work, it's going to have a flow-on effect into your finances as well. We are looking for opportunities there, though. So with the moon, there is quite a big element of, good luck coming through with that as well. So just not getting too emotional when it does come to our finances, and everything should flow fine. Yeah, so it's really all about, though, appreciating the other side of your career, the enjoying the work that you do, or seeing the good in the work that you do, whatever it may be, rather than focusing on, oh, I've got to get money, I've got to get money. It really does sort of just remind you to just chill out and just enjoy. I know it's hard to enjoy work sometimes, but, that's kind of what it's telling you, because the more that you love it, the more you are going to get that financial success come along with it. Yeah, so it's just sort of reminding you to find the joy in what you do at the moment, I feel. But yeah, a little bit of a warning for you guys there. Just be careful, not to splash the cash too much at the moment. It might just, I just feel there's a little bit of, jealousy might be something you might be having to deal with at the moment, or in the near future, when it comes to, co-workers and that sort of a thing. It does feel like you've got some like, sorry, I'm just going off intuition here, but it was just feeling a lot like, you've got some really great supporters at your, within your career or your work. You might have some really great supporters, but there is just one or two that, might be a little bit, you know, easy to judge, jump to that jealousy factor, or wonder why. How can you get all these wonderful things, whereas I can't? I spend all my money on whatever. It's just that weird element going on there, that it just feels like there's just maybe one or two people in around you at the moment that may be just a little bit off. Everyone else, all the other energy coming through felt lovely though, and supportive though. So just make sure you're aware of that and protective of your boundaries. And like I said, being quite assertive when you need to be. So just be aware that there is potentially one energy around you at the moment that might be a little bit jealous of you. Maybe it's just the way that you do well at work, or whatever it is. So just be aware of that as well, guys. Okay, so we'll move over to the water signs, and we will head straight into Pisces and their career and their finances at the moment. How are we today, Pisces? So Pisces, career. And Pisces, we want to see that financial coming on through. We want to see some financial improvements, please. Everyone wants that, right? Doesn't matter if you're at the bottom of the rung or at the top. We all want it to be as good as it can be, right? Okay, so Pisces, we are seeing for you there, we have the Clover in the past position, the Rider in the present position, and also the Ship in the future position there, Pisces. So basically with this, we've got quite a lot of action heading your way when it comes to work and career. But in the past, it feels like you have maybe taken a few risks. and it feels like they're really starting to sort of pay off. So whatever risks you have taken in your career or your workplace or whatever, it does feel like those risks really are starting to pay off for you, Pisces, because we do have the rider and the ship both involving quite a lot of movement coming your way, and especially with the rider there, very positive movement headed your way there. The clover itself too, it does really outshine any negative elements, because it is, the card of good luck and good fortune. So it is a really wonderful um, basis to be starting on when it comes to talking about, your career and your job or whatever. Um, so with the writer coming on through, it does sort of take a big look at someone coming with good news in the present. So it's going to be something, very soon, I would imagine, because he's pretty quick too. So if it hasn't already happened, he's on his way, bringing some good news your way. And then with the ship as well, that does sort of, the ship's cargo coming on in. So someone's going to be delivering some really good news to you. It does sort of talk about profits and those sorts of things as well. And it also could actually, a side note, Pisces, for someone out there, it could be, someone from overseas that's coming into the workplace and giving you, this upbeat news or whatever it may be there. So it could be just some changes happening in the workplace. But it really actually feels more like coming from like more of a person's energy, but there may also be some travel involved as well. So it could be something like, your boss coming to you and saying, look, we need you to travel to here or whatever. So there might be some travel in your future as well to do with work. You might be needing to travel for work in the near future, but it's all sort of very, very positive, and that they both are really positive energy. So having some changes happening in the very near future for you, but it does sort of involve, that journey element for you guys with work coming on through for you. So whatever that means, it'll probably mean different things for different people. Obviously, it is a collective read, but yeah, so it definitely could be, you know, someone new coming into the workplace from overseas, more like a business type person, or it could also be you traveling for work, those sorts of things as well. It could just be, good news coming from a distance somehow. So, if your company works with other companies that are at a distance or something, there may be some good news headed down from corporate, those sorts of things as well. Yeah. Now, for your financial aspects there, we do have the key. So it does look like we have really started unlocking some really great avenues when it comes to finances. The key does really talk about success. So it does feel like you are currently in a more successful phase when it comes to finances. You might have sorted some things out, or you might be starting to just starting to walk through that door you've only recently unlocked when it comes to your finances. So it's a hugely positive reading for you guys today. And we do have the woman for the near future for your finances as well. So she she does talk about quite a lot of luck as well. When we are talking about finances, it can be talking about that element of luck, just things just falling into the palm of your hand, out of money coming from somewhere that you didn't expect, and it could possibly also be um, connected to a woman of importance within your workplace, those types of things as well. So, there may be like, for just as an example, if a woman were to leave the workplace and then you take over her role and got a higher pay grade because you're in a higher role or something like that, could be a female boss coming in and oh, I really love your work, blah, blah, move you over to this department, that sort of thing. But it does seem like it is connected somehow to a woman, your financial, um, you know, and when I'm saying your finances, I'm sort of talking about, the opportunity to increase your finances somehow is connected to a female energy. Now, obviously, it's not necessarily a female, although in this particular deck, a lot of the time, these ones actually do gender. So I do know that in quite a lot of my readings, I do specifically say I don't like to gender the female and male cards there, but this particular deck, it is quite old-fashioned, and it does usually represent like an actual woman. So it could just be someone sitting in their feminine energy, but it is more likely to be an actual woman in this deck. So even though I personally don't like to genderize these particular cards, these particular cards are quite old-fashioned, so they do. Okay, but looking really lovely for you guys there, Pisces, with both the clover and the key in that reading. I think everything's sort of looking up for you guys at the moment. Throwing things around at myself. Okay, so moving over to who we're going to, Cancer. How are we, Cancer? Just doing career and finances today, Cancer. Having a look, seeing where things are for everyone at the moment. So Cancer and career, please. Cancer and finances. Now we're definitely looking for the positives today, so we're trying to sort of just get some general ideas of how everything's going and where we might be able to get the best results when it comes to career and finances. Okay, so for the career portion there, in the past we have the birds, and then we do have the letter for present and the rider for the near future there. So we're definitely seeing something coming your way when it comes to career and work. Firstly, the birds, it can be in the past you've had some, like, particularly with this deck, it can talk about some sort of sorrow to do with your career in the near past. So you might have thought something was hard, or it might have just been a difficult period at work, or something has happened at work that has made you just a little bit sad or hesitant to work. And a lot of the time the birds do sort of link in a lot with gossip. So there may have been some workplace gossip that's making you sort of just feel a bit at work lately. Not necessarily even lately. It could have been a while back, and it's still sort of affecting you now. But yeah, it does just have that little element of sadness, but also, like I said, gossip or things like that. So whatever's gone on in the past within the workplace. But I do feel like whatever that was, we are sort of moving heavily away from that there, because we do have the letter and then the rider. Okay, and so the letter, when it comes to work, is going to be talking about like documents, so signing on to new things, those sorts of things. Generous strokes of luck it can and bring on as well. So anything that you're sort of paperwork wise that we're working on at the moment with work is actually like really going to be bringing some good news your way. So documents, letters, even work emails and work texts, those sorts of things, any sort of communication that's happening within the workplace at the moment is actually going to be bringing in some really good news for you. So it's going to definitely be sort of like positive. They both sort of do mention good, like good news coming through, and it is pretty quick too. So seeing the writer so close to the letter, it does make me believe that whatever this communication is directly headed towards you, and will be sort of bringing that more positive element back into the workplace for you. So it's actually looking like things are definitely headed in the right direction career-wise for you guys at the moment. So it can sort of also talk about, if you are looking for new work or things like that. It can also sort of talk about signing documents, or correspondence about a new position, or those sorts of things as well. But obviously that would only be applicable if you have already, started those motions. I'm not going out and telling anyone to leave your job and go get a new job or anything like that. But I am just sort of, the communication factor is really going to be bringing in some positive things for you in the near future when it comes to career. So, documents, paperwork, even, like I said, work emails and texts being really positive for you at the moment. Now, when it comes to finances, we are seeing the fox in the present, and then we are seeing the woman in the near future. So I feel like these are actually strongly related. Okay, so this particular deck, this particular fox, okay, is going to be talking about a woman, because I'm doing a career and financial reading, there's a particular woman in your energy, and unfortunately, I don't like to normally genderize the cards, but this being such an old-fashioned deck, it usually does speak to a woman of importance when it comes to your finances. So, it could be like a woman at work, or it could be somehow related to someone who might have access to your finances, those sorts of a thing, but it does have that potential energy that isn't necessarily the best. So it is kind of a bit of a warning to you that, someone is trying to be a little bit crafty, sly about finances. So it's sort of just telling you really need to be cautious at the moment. Not to let your finances be drained by this woman energy. So like, I know that that's not the most positive message, so I'm sorry. I will grab another card just for advice on how we should deal with this energy, because that it usually does refer to like a career woman when it's mixed with the fox. So I would sort of be, you just need to be, it's sort of just reminding you need to be clever and not be careless around this particular female's energy. She's probably being, trying to be cunning and a bit clever about things, and possibly, saying whatever she needs to get money. That's what it feels like to me. So I'll grab you an advice card. This female fox energy, please. She's not necessarily like the fox. It's one of them. It's a weird card sometimes, but in this specific thing, it is more on the negative vibe with this particular deck. Yeah, okay, so your advice is the clouds. So that means we just really need to clearly think things through, be cautious and think things through. So don't just impulsively give anyone money or anything like that. You really need to be cautious of your money at the moment and really think things through. So, if someone comes to you asking for a loan, if someone comes to you asking for money, really think about it. Like, don't just willy-nilly be like, yeah, sure, here you go. Don't throw that cash around. Really think about it, and I feel like maybe be a bit more assertive in how you're dealing with people, and sort of not just blindly trusting people at the moment when it comes to money. Especially whoever this, you may know who this particular female energy is already. Okay, Cancer. Well, sorry I couldn't be a bit more positive for you, but I hope that warning serves a few people well. So if that does resonate with you and you do know who that woman is, just be careful, please. Especially in this, in this day and age. I'm using such an old-fashioned deck, so it's hard to talk about the newer elements of technology and things like that as well. But, in this day and age, we've got online scammers everywhere, so you really need to be super vigilant when it comes to just trusting people online and things like that. So could be something along those lines if I've blurted that one out. But moving over to Scorpio. How are we, Scorpio? Just looking at career and finances today. So, Scorpio, career, please. And Scorpio, potential for improvement in the finances, please. Let's look at our finances, Scorpio. Okay, so with your career, okay, I've got the road. These cards don't pick up the greatest, do they? The mountain and the book there as well. Okay, so we have made some decisions in the past. You've had some changes or made some decisions in the recent past when it does come to your career. And whatever that change has been, I feel like it sort of has felt like maybe you might feel as though you might have made the wrong choice because it might have felt like a delay or an obstacle or a new challenge put in your path. With the mountain there, it kind of is a lot of the time a challenge, a lot of hard work to climb the mountain there. But at the end of the day, the mountain, and when you do put in that hard work and you can surmount that challenge, and then it becomes a rock solid, brand new chapter for you guys there. So it just feels like at the present you are sort of still stuck a little bit in the hard work phase with your career. So you might be having to put in a few extra hours, those sorts of things at the moment. Whatever decisions you've made in the past when it comes to work or career, but they are sort of going to be paying off very soon, I feel. It feels like you're nearly at the top of this mountain. You've nearly put in all the work. You've been putting in this hard work. You still are. It does feel like you still are putting in quite a lot of hard work. Things may have felt like they've been challenging or have you've felt like you've been delayed somewhat within your career. But with the book there as the near future there, the book really does talk about, new chapters opening up for you. As you can see there, it is an open book. It's sort of pages flipping through there. So it really does talk about, you are getting to the next chapter. You are turning those pages. You have climbed that mountain. By the time we get to this book, we definitely have climbed that mountain. We flip that page over of doing all the hard work, and we're on to the next. So I suppose just a bit of a letting you know there that your hard work will pay off, and it will open up some new chapters for you within your career in the very near future. Okay, so with your finances there, we are seeing in the present the bear. So that's talking about at the moment needing to sort of protect your finances just a little bit, be protective of them, have clear boundaries with people when it comes to financial things. Like, don't just be giving money willy-nilly. Nearly everyone's gotten a similar message tonight, so obviously no one should be splashing the cash out there to other people at the moment. It's really feeling like it's other people asking everyone for money at the moment, to be honest. Maybe it's just you, like the air and water signs that are copying this off from all sides, I feel, with people. That's what it sort of feels like to me tonight, is that, yeah, the poor water and air signs are copying it from all sides, people asking them for money all over the place. So it does talk about, have your boundaries, that's fine. Be strong, stand in your own power when it comes to your finances, but yes, be a little bit protective of your finances at the moment. But then we are seeing in the near future, you are going to be able to start taking more risks when it comes to your finances. The clover really does talk about a period of really good luck, and also, yeah, taking a bit of risk. So when it comes to financial things, taking a bit of a risk can talk about, like investments, and those sorts of things. So, it might be a good time to start looking at, right now we're wanting to be protective of our money, but in the near future, so like maybe in the next few weeks, you might actually want to start looking at, you know, taking a little bit of a risk and investing some money somewhere where it's going to sort of, it feels like it will pay off for you if you do that. So maybe that's what the protecting your money is all about too, rather than giving it to people, to sort of take a risk and give it to, you know, an investment thing, you know, like get some stocks or something like that, if that's within your means or whatever. But in the near future, you are looking like having a really good period of financial blessings. So that's actually feeling really good. The clover is one of the most, you know, it's one of the most beautiful cards in the deck, and it does talk quite a lot about good fortune and good luck. So I feel like we are coming into a period of some really good financial luck for you guys. So that's lovely. That's obviously what happens when that hard work starts to pay off, hey? Okay, so we'll go straight over to Taurus. How are we tonight, Taurus? Just looking at career and finances for everybody tonight. Just doing some quick career and financial messages. Looking for all the positive upcoming things with our careers and finances. So Taurus, for career, please. And Taurus, for finances. Just excuse me a moment, Taurus, sorry. Okay. Oh, that's a love. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking ahead. So we do have the scythe in the past there. So there has been some sort of big sudden break or change when it comes to your work or career. So you might have just changed jobs. You might, you know, or something has, you know, some sort of big change has happened for you when it does come to your career in the past there. But then the next things we're seeing, absolutely beautiful. We've got the moon and then the sun energy both coming through. So it's not very often that you see the, you know, both the celestial cards coming through together, and especially with the sun in the future position. The moon really does talk about, you know, just a current period of good luck within the career. You know, it specifically does talk about things like glory and honor within your career. You know, so you're actually in whatever this big change has been in the past. It feels like you're getting a lot more recognition for you and what you do within the workplace at the present. And that's sort of leading to so much happiness and that warmth and, you know, feeling like you're just happy dancing in the sunlight kind of energy. So with that in the future, though, I definitely feel like this is just going to keep on going for you. Whatever this big change has happened in the past there, that has sort of brought a lot more recognition or emotional happiness for you. You know, as with any job, we can all have our moments, but there's something in particular that's changed, and so now we're looking at you know, more emotional happiness within the workplace. So whatever that is that has changed for you guys, you know, it's going to sort of keep going, and it's sort of washing out all the dark aspects and definitely heading into the light. It definitely is, you know, just going to be a super awesome period for. We've got the present and the future both looking like a really positive period for you guys with career and finance, well, career specifically. So whatever it is that you do, I feel like you know, just keep on doing it because you are on the right path with that there. And then when it comes to your finances, we are seeing the coffin and then the stork. So that's definitely following the same sort of storyline there with the coffin as the present energy, because it does sort of talk about something that has ended. So whatever that big sudden break or change was for you. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling that quite a lot of you may have just swapped jobs, or something like that. So you might have not been happy at a job and then decided to move elsewhere. Whatever you've ended, it really does talk about this cycle of death and rebirth. So, this, whatever you have ended, something new is beginning from that. So, especially with the finances, you might have been had a little time where your finances felt like they're a bit still and just laying there fast asleep because we've ended something. So you may have been quite concerned about your finances recently, but with the stork there as well, that really does stir up new changes, new beginnings. So yeah, that's sort of why I'm saying I feel like a lot of you might have recently changed jobs or something like that, because with the stork coming through in the future position for your finances, whatever changes, whatever this big change was, and whatever changes you've made, it's definitely stirring up more financial opportunities for you. So really heading into a period where we're going to see some really beautiful things happening for you. So you may or may not have started to sort of see those things already, but we are definitely heading into a really positive time, because the stork also talks about things in their infancy as well. So yeah, it's just the beginning at the moment, and it's just going to keep on, that sun's just going to keep on coming up every single day. It's going to come up for you and shine down on you. So it really, even if this is in its infancy, you're definitely headed in the right direction when it comes to this, Taurus. So that's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, moving over to, we'll get going with Virgo. How are we today, Virgo? Just looking at career and finances today. Just doing a super quick reading for everyone today. Actually on time today. Well, a lot better time than I was yesterday. Anyway, I've been aiming to do these messages in about an hour, but obviously I will be running over time again. I still got to do all the fire signs yet. So I've still got about 4 more signs after you, Virgo. So, but getting better slightly at doing the quick messages for everyone. Sometimes it's nice to have just a quick little message instead of having to watch a super long video or anything like that. And like, obviously, do check your other placements if it doesn't quite resonate or anything like that. But Virgo, with their career, please. And Virgo, financial opportunities incoming, please. Okay, so Virgo, we have had quite a lot of good luck in the recent past when it comes to your career. So this is the fish, which does talk about abundance, and it does talk about finances. So you have been in a pretty good position, in the recent past when it does come to career and having that abundance of work for yourself there. But I'm seeing in the present that you do have the whip, or the rod card there. So it does sort of talk about a big tension currently, going through a period of sort of tension. So yeah, I'm just trying to vibe on that there for you. I'll get some clarity actually for you on that tension, because there's something going on there and I just can't quite grasp what that is. What's this rod for Virgo, please? Okay, so it's talking about your long-term objectives with the lily there coming through. The lily is another career card, so you've got 2 of the career cards coming straight through. So we definitely are in a pretty solid career by the feel of that. But there is just something going on for you at the moment when it comes to planning for long-term, or like long-term goals within the workplace, or those types of things. So I just feels like a bit of tension, like you might just be having a little bit of tension, like trying to work out if this is something that you do want forever as a job, or if this is like, that's all. It doesn't feel like anything huge or dramatic or anything like that. But what we're actually seeing for the near future is the tree. So I actually feel like that's kind of giving you a little bit of advice, that this, like, because of the abundance in the past there, I definitely feel like this, it just feels like maybe there's something that you need to, like, educate yourself a little bit more when it comes to the work or the career. The tree does talk quite a lot about, self-growth, like trees grow. So, be like a tree and grow. So it just talks about, giving yourself a bit of extra knowledge or wisdom when it comes to your career in the near future. And then things will sort of blossom out for you as well. And you'll be able to, branch out a little bit when it comes to your career. So I really feel that education might be important in the next few weeks for you guys, just to, even if it's only just the small things, like maybe trying to educate yourself how to do this particular one little part of your job just a slightly different way, just to make it better for yourself, make it easier for yourself, make things roll a bit smoother. And then that will have that flow and effect of giving you, less tension and more longevity when it comes to this particular career, or deciding where we want to go with our longevity when it comes to career. Okay, because then we're seeing with the finances, we are seeing the rider and then the ship. So these are actually really fantastic to see for your finances, because the rider is good news coming on through. So as in the present position, that's sort of definitely talking about good news headed your way currently. If you haven't seen some small improvements within your finances, you probably will be very shortly. It may be related to, you know, someone, a physical, like an actual person coming to you to give you more money in some way, shape, or form. So you might be getting some sort of a raise coming through, that sort of a vibe as well. Especially with the ship there as well. The ship does really bring good fortune, like the ship's full of all this wonderful cargo, and it's coming and docking at you there in the near future. So, it can also talk about, um, you know, especially in a financial sense, it can talk about somehow getting money from overseas as well. So if you do have like overseas investments or those sorts of things, you might see some improvements in those in the near future as well. Um, so yeah, nothing too dramatic for you guys there. I just do feel that that might be something you need to consider in the near future. Will be that, just a little bit more knowledge or wisdom when it comes to the actual job or career, and that will sort of help you get back onto the smooth sailing with that ship. So with that ship there, I feel like that's something you guys are probably already on the path of sorting that out for that longevity anyway. So looking good. So we'll move straight over into Capricorn. How are we today, Capricorn? Just looking at career and finances today. So Capricorn with career and finances. Capricorn career. Everyone knows Capricorn, the hard worker of the signs there. We get a lot of flack for, everyone thinks we only care about money, but we all know that's not the truth. But, money's pretty good too, right? So, financial abundance for Capricorn. Show us what we got. Show me the money. Oh, okay, lovely. Oh, Capricorn. Love it. I am a Capricorn as well, so definitely love it. In the past energy there, we are seeing sort of a focus on, that's the lily. Oh, goodness me. There we go, the lily. Finally got a view of it. So the lily does sort of talk about long-term longevity. So in the past, we might have been sort of planning for the future quite a lot when it comes to our career. And so, yeah, it's really talking about having that happy path of and doing things that are going to set us for life, sort of thing. So in the past, it feels like you've really had that in mind, and that's sort of when it comes to career, you've been making sort of long-term decisions. So that's always a positive thing when it comes to career, I suppose. In the present position, we are seeing the man. Okay, and so with this particular deck, it is quite an old-fashioned deck. I don't really like to genderize um, but with this old-fashioned deck, it usually is talking about an actual male of significance when it comes to your career at the moment. So for some reason, it just really wants to point out to us at the moment that a particular male within your career element is somehow very important at this time. So that could be like a boss or a co-worker, all those sorts of things. I will grab one card for clarity on that gentleman there. Why the gentleman for Capricorn career? Okay, so we are seeing the clover when I've asked for clarity, and so that's going to talk about this particular man is going to be a source of good luck for you. He might also be taking some risks when it does come to your job somehow. So somehow, whoever this man is, he has the power to take a bit of risk when it comes to your career. So that if that's you, you might be the male that's taking these risks at the moment, Capricorn. It could be like an investment businessman. That the man a lot of the time is like a businessman type man, and with the clover, it could be talking about investments or stocks, those sorts of risks. Um, you know, it could even be something really more literal too. Like there might be a male coming into your workplace who is a risk assessment manager or something like that. You know what I mean? So it might be totally literal and be talking about that particular man. But it's got something to do with that risk element. But with the clover, it's talking about positive risks. So high risk, high reward, that type of a thing. It's a good time to be taking those risks with this gentleman. So you might even have, someone coming to you wanting to partner up and invest with you, all those sorts of things. And it does feel like it's going to bring some really good luck for you. The clover really does talk about good fortune and good luck. So if that resonates for you guys in the present or the near future, I would definitely be going along with that or whatever, because for the future position there, we are seeing the fish, and the fish is the finances card for the Lenormand deck there. So it really does talk about abundance and wealth and creating all these new opportunities, and having the money flowing. So in the future position there, we really are seeing some abundance headed your way. So yeah, like I said, high risk, high reward. At the moment, we're looking at potentially taking some risks, and we're seeing the reward in the near future there. Definitely positive for you guys there, Capricorn. So when it comes to the actual finances, that keeping in mind that was career, and your job, your work, whatever. When it comes to your actual finances, there, it's feeling like we've built some pretty solid foundations when it comes to finances, um, you know, and it's sort of there's not much more I can really say for you guys, Capricorn. It's like we've built these solid foundations in the present and the past. And we're heading into the flowers, which is receiving things. It's got a very giving energy, the flowers. So it really does talk about happy things, no grief whatsoever. So heading in the financial zone in the near future, we're seeing the flowers, which is rewards and pleasure. So definitely heading into some really positive financials for you guys there as well. So like I said, what more can I say? That's exactly what we want to hear, isn't it, guys? So yay, Capricorn. Just excuse me for a moment, guys. Okay, so moving over into Aries, the fire signs. How are we today? Just give me a second to make sure I've got these all shuffled well. And I thought I saw one upside down, but nope. So Aries, we're just looking at career and finances today, looking for you know, all the positive stuff that we want to hear about our money coming in for us. It's what everyone wants, right? You know, it's not everything, but definitely is something. Okay, Aries and career, please. Okay, and Aries with financial opportunities coming on in, please. Okay, so straight away we're seeing the crossroads for the past when it comes to career. So it feels like you know, you've had to make some decisions or make some choices or decisions when it comes to your career. So maybe you've changed path not long ago. Maybe it's just been talking about, you know, small decisions within the workplace, those sorts of things. But there has been some change path vibe of late coming on through for you guys, Aries. And it kind of feels like this is what's led to the bear energy, which we have for the present there, sorry. So the bear does talk about, you know, being protective, sometimes overprotective, but also very muchly about standing in our own power and strength. Okay, so it just feels like we're in a bit of a period where, you know, something has slightly changed in the recent past, and we are feeling maybe a little bit defensive or overprotective at the moment when it comes to where we stand within the workplace or with the work that we're doing, you know. But I am seeing the future there as the letter card. So that's talking about communication, straight up, like work emails. I'm just going to grab a clarity on that one, actually. What's that letter about, please? Okay, so we've pulled the moon for the clarity there. So the moon does talk about, you know, whatever these small changes have been that have led to you being a little bit, you know, defensive, overprotective, or whatever it may be. You know, the communication coming on in is really going to be bringing in a really positive career vibe for you. So so I feel like even if we're in a little bit of a you know, dealing with this at the moment where we might be feeling a little bit defensive or overprotective, you know, you're going to get some sort of communication soon that's going to make you feel a lot more content and feel a lot more like the change was for the right reasons. You know what I mean? So whatever that small change was, you are going to soon see that change, sort of positive results of that change. So we might just still be a little bit like hesitant that we might be, you know, did we take the right path? Did we do it the right way? Those sorts of things. But you're definitely getting some sort of communication come soon, talking about nice career vibes. You know, that the moon really does talk about, yeah, shining down on you with that nice luck kind of vibe, you know, and it does sort of announce a happy career. In this particular deck, it definitely does talk about a happy career. So we are going to be seeing some positive changes coming through. If they haven't sort of, I feel like we're still in that more protective type energy, which, you know, that's fine. That might be exactly what you need at the moment. That maybe that's what the change has involved, being a little bit more protective of the work that you're doing, those sorts of things. And maybe that's what's going to bring through this communication, that's going to sort of bring this really nice vibe with it, because the moon is really, it does really shine down on you, and it could be like it's not necessarily for this particular deck, but it does feel like it could be like a little bit of a emotional news coming through. So it could be like work emails, texts, even documents coming on through, work-related documents coming through, that, you know, these changes might feel slightly emotional, but they're all going to work out in a positive way for you there. So that's really good to see, because then, yeah, in the financial side of things, for the present, we are seeing the book. So that does talk quite a lot about, seeing what's written, things at the moment, sort of starting new chapters at the moment, but also that element of um, unknown. So we might have a bit of an unknown element going on at the moment, and to be completely honest, with the fox energy coming in for the future there, there could be like, financially speaking, there could be an energy of you needing to be cautious with your money, and, needing to hold that close to you, because it just feels as though, the fox is an energy, in this particular deck, that it could be somebody who is being a bit sneaky, holding secrets from you. So it could be like, it might be somebody through the workplace. It might be somebody in your personal life, that is being a bit sneaky, or holding secrets when it comes to the way that they deal with money, those sorts of things. So it is just sort of letting you know, be cautious at this time, when it does come to your money, because, yeah, I do feel that there is some sort of a secret there. Sometimes the book, very rarely does the book talk about secrets, but with that fox vibe, I'm really feeling that there's some sort of secret, something that you don't know about, when it does come to somebody else's financial situation. All right. Now I did get that in one of the other placements as well. So maybe check your other placements as well, because somebody else did get this fox coming through as a warning when it comes to finances as well, and it was in regard to a female energy. So if you feel like that might resonate for you, please check your other placements, and see what I've said in that video. It might resonate for you, when it comes to that financial stuff as well. But I'll just get some clarity once again for that fox card, please. Rather than asking for clarity, I'm sorry, I should be more asking for advice, shouldn't I? Advice for that fox card for Aries, please. It's really just telling me to really be cautious, and I am still feeling a very female energy off that, to be completely honest. In this particular deck, the feminine, like the female energy usually is an actual female. Um, so, but yeah, I am getting that you are really needing to be cautious, because if you're not careful with your money in the near future, trouble definitely will arise. That's going to affect your security and stability. Okay, so you're really needing to keep an eye on all your financials at the moment, and down to every last little cent at the moment, Aries. I'm really feeling strongly that there is a potential. Um, there is a potential, I don't want to say negative, but that's what I'm getting, okay, is that there is a potential person around you, um, that is being sneaky about money, and you really need to be really super careful that someone's not going to be trying to touch your money. So I just feel like, just be really super careful of where your money is going at the moment, Aries, and um, yeah, like I said, I really don't like to be giving a negative message, but I can't deny what I'm seeing there. And it was just sort of repeating. No matter how many cards I was drawing, it was just the same message over and over again. So, yeah, I really feel like you guys just need to be, warned about this potential person around you at the moment. So with that energy, it does feel like it's somebody that is already around you. and you're really needing to just keep your boundaries firm when it comes to your finances at the moment, Aries. Like, um, so it could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be otherwise, but you guys will know if that resonates for you or not. And like I said, if it does or does not resonate, if you feel like that's a person that you may know who that is, definitely check your other placements, because I do know that I have done one reading already that did have that fox coming on through. So and it definitely was a female energy in that one as well. So I didn't pull the female card for you guys, but that was just my intuition was telling me that that's a similar female energy. I don't feel like it's the exact same, but it could be. But it felt more female energy than male. But I'm just really feeling that you guys just really need to be super careful at the moment, and really watch every dollar and cent at the moment, and make sure you're on top of it all. Do you know what I mean? So good luck with that, Aries. I'm sorry, and I hope that sometimes I really hope that messages don't resonate, because especially when they're on the more negative side, sometimes I do hope that they don't resonate for people. But the other half of me is like, oh, I hope messages resonate, of course, but when it's the more negative stuff, it is hard. So yeah, I'm sorry to be confronting, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. But I'll move over to Leo. How are we today, Leo? Sorry, just making sure I get your timestamps right there for you. So Leo, we're just looking at career and finances for you guys today. Leo, career. And incoming finances for Leo, please. Okay, so past we're getting the sun, present we're getting the letter, and future we're getting the stork. So that's a pretty clear past, present, future for you guys there. So whatever happiness or warm feelings that you've gotten from your career in the past, it really does feel like they're sort of continuing on for you, Leo. The sun smiles on you with good intent, but so things that in the past, things might have been revealed to you, ways to do your job better, those sorts of things. Things that have been revealed to you in the past are definitely, continuing on, I feel, for you, Leo. Especially with the letter there, we're getting, that's a communication card. So it can be talking about like work emails, texts, any sort of work communication, really, like work meetings, those sorts of things. But that being in the present, that communication, but it's really going to stir up some new beginnings for you guys in the future. And with that sun there, that's just, blessed beginnings. So something coming into its infancy in the near future with that stork, this communication is really going to stir up some newness within the career or the workplace for you guys. And like I said, with that sun, that's feeling like super positive for you guys there as well. So we're looking at some possible communication coming in for you, Leo. That's going to stir up some new elements within the work for you. So that's always it's good to keep on your toes and keep busy. Whatever. Okay, so when it comes to your actual finances, we're seeing the mountain for your present position. So you may be facing some challenges or delays with your finances at the moment. The mountain, it is, it can be delays and challenges, and like a bit of an obstacle in the current position there. But once you get over that mountain, things do get a lot easier. You can see your way clear from that. And in the future there, we do have the snake. So that really does talk about desire and ambition, but not allowing ourselves to follow temptation. Okay, so being clear with ourselves when it comes to our finances, right? Being clear with ourselves about what we truly desire and what we truly, what our ambitions are when it comes to finances, but not allowing ourselves to get tempted and spend things on impulse rather than things that have been sort of long thought out because we truly, truly desire those things. You know what I mean? So it is just a bit of a thing there to just let you know not to impulsively just go out and spend in the near future, but really, really think about things that are actually going to, maybe thinking about things more long term, things that are going to fulfill your long term ambitions when it comes to finances. So maybe it's just talking about spending your money on the right things in the near future for you guys, Leo. So, not going out and just, oh, look at that, that's so pretty, I got to have it, which is what I do, so I can't talk. That's my Leo rising. Maybe that's a warning for me as well. But, even if you're feeling challenged and you feel like you have suffering a few delays, that can actually be talking about just a more literal thing too, like maybe your paycheck has just been delayed a few days or something like that. And then when it does come in, your impulse is to just go and spend it all. It's telling you to think a little bit more long term about, hang on, I need to make sure I'm spending this on the things that I truly need, not just the things that I want. Okay, so that's what we're seeing for you guys, Leo. So sorry to be the one to say, don't go and spend all your money straight away, but don't go and spend all your money straight away. Like I said, that's my rising, so I probably need to take that on board as well. Okay, so just give me a moment here. Just have a drink. Sorry. Okay, so we've got, last but not least, Sagittarius. How are we tonight, Sagittarius? Just doing a quick career and finances reading for everyone tonight. So Sagittarius and their career, please. And incoming financials for Sagittarius, please. Okay, so Sagittarius, we are seeing in the past position, we're seeing the stars, then we're seeing the clouds in the present position and the tower in the near future position there. So I feel like that's sort of talking about, the stars is always a really positive sign to be seeing in any reading there. So as the past position, when it comes to your career, it just sort of talks about, certain things that you've sort of wished for in your career. So and with the tower in the near future, I feel like that's referring back to that star card. Okay, so you may not even be sort of aware of these things that you've wished for in the past when it comes to your career, but I feel like that's kind of the energy is really splitting for me, right? Because the star card a lot of the time talks about wish fulfillment, but what's happening is I'm seeing the wish in the past, but then I'm seeing the wish fulfillment actually coming through with this tower in the near future there. Okay, because that's talking about the foundations that have been set, so the wishes that we have set when it comes to our career. So it could just even be little things like, oh, I wish that boss would stop being so horrible. And then in the near future, oh look, wow, they actually are not being so horrible. What's going on? You know what I mean? So could be just small things like that. But yeah, that's what's actually happening for you guys at the moment. I am seeing this star energy definitely split over into this tower energy. Um, so in the current position there, we're seeing the clouds. So that means, possibly overthinking things at work at the moment. Spending too much time in our thoughts rather than, you know, focusing on the job. And, you know, it's really feeling like overthinking those. So maybe just giving yourself a little bit more stress than you need to at the moment. So I suppose the best advice I could give you is just these things that you have manifested in the past, they're coming on through. You just need to wait. So stop overthinking about them and stop, you know, there's no need to keep wishing for things to change or whatever. Whatever this overthinking sort of feeling is in the middle there, so it could also be things like you're just doing things in a way where it's like you're taking 10 steps to do something when it could actually only take you 5 steps to do the thing. You're over planning, overthinking things. So maybe at the moment I would focus on sort of simplifying, and not letting your overthinking get the best of you when it comes to your work or career situation. So obviously there's going to be slightly different for everyone, but like I said, you have set up those foundations in the past when it comes to the things that you wish for from your job or your work or whatever. You have set up those strong foundations, and so they will be coming in the near future there. Okay, and so in the financial zone there, we are seeing the snake and then the rod. Okay, so this could be talking about, at the moment, just having to be a little bit on guard of that sort of um, slimy snake energy going around there. It's actually, with this particular deck, it could actually be talking about somebody who is being a little bit mean. So it could be somebody within the workplace that's being a little bit mean to you, and you feel like your finances are being a little bit like somehow financially that's affecting you. Okay, so could also be being mean on yourself when it comes to your finances. And now that I've said that out loud, I feel like that's probably actually more along the lines of what's going on there. But it does talk about reminding yourself to focus on those true desires. Not letting yourself be tempted to be harsh on yourself. You don't need to be quite so harsh on yourself. Um, but yeah, just focusing on your true desires when it comes to your finances, and not letting things sort of slither away on you at the moment. So just asking for just a little bit of caution at the moment when it comes to your finances. And I do feel like that might be connected to that overthinking vibe. So you may be overthinking a little bit at the moment too. So and then in the near future, we do have the rod. Okay, so that does talk that in this particular deck, it's not anything tragic. It is just sort of like annoyance. So so maybe you have sort of overspent a little bit at the present, and that bringing you some annoyance in the near future. So it can just be just a little bit of tension. Once again, I'm feeling that overthinking sort of vibe coming from that. So I will just grab you a clarity for that. Some advice, really. Some advice for Saggy when it comes to their finances, please. Whoa, that's too many cards. Hang on. Advice for Sagittarius, please, with finances. Yeah, okay, so it is just telling me that you need to be on your guard at the moment. That we've pulled the mouse and then the bear, and then I do have the tree as well. So it does feel like it's just needing to be on your guard a little bit at the moment. Be protective of your money. The mouse sometimes can talk about you know, a theft, like things being lost or stolen. So definitely be on your guard and be protective of your finances at the moment. And I do feel like with the tree there, it could be protective of your finances from yourself as well. Like I said there with that snake, you could be, you know, you could be finding it really hard to resist temptation at the moment. You know, and then end up annoyed at yourself. So just be super, that's your advice, is to just be super on guard and protective of your finances at the moment. There may also be an element of, you know, just seeking some extra help, some self-help, some extra learning when it comes to how to deal with finances. That might be something you might want to look into at the moment as well. The tree can talk about education. So I do feel like it could be actually advising you to maybe like seek a financial counselor, or that type of a thing. Um, so I know here in Australia that's something that is actually pretty accessible for a lot of people. That financial counselling. You know, there are quite a few charity organisations that do offer financial counselling. So I don't know what other countries are like with that, but it just sort of does feel like, you know, some sort of education about the way that we're spending, and how to protect our money better, might be sort of on the cards for you guys at the moment. But yeah, like nothing dramatic. You know, it doesn't actually feel like it's anything huge. It's just sort of one of them things that, you know, when I'm asking for how can we improve our finances, that's what we're getting, you know. So if you are a little bit frustrated at where things are sitting for you at the moment, that's the best advice for you at this time. Yeah. But yeah, thank you all for sticking around tonight, and hopefully I'll see everyone again soon. Please make sure to leave a comment, so you can go in the running for that free personal read, as well as, you know, subscribe to the channel so you can keep updated. But yeah, I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.